Welcome to Meadowbrook Memories Podcast. I am Jelly, otherwise known as Glacier Prince, and my co-host is Hitchcock, otherwise known as Alfred Henry. Our mission on this podcast series is to explore the stories behind the magic that was created at Meadowbrook. When over a span of 4 years, between 1982 and 1986, we saw the transformation of a small co-educational school with less than 1,200 students, 800 boys, 800 girls and 400 boys into a successful sports and scholastic champion, winning 7 major trophies, 3 Sunlight Cup, 2 Topping Cup, 1 Walker Cup, and 1 Nutriment Shield. And to crown these achievements, Meadowbrook also produced 2 Rhodes Scholars, Cavell Creighton in 1987 and Andrea Wright in 1989, both graduates of Meadowbrook in 1983. In this podcast series, we'll be speaking to persons, both males and female, who were actively involved in this incredible journey, along with friends and staff at Meadowbrook, which inspired the environment which created this golden era. We hope you enjoy our discussion. Please give us as much support and encouragement as you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. Welcome and thanks for joining us. Oh, all right, ready, go. Today is Sunday, October 9, 2022. I welcome back to another conversation about Meadowbrook memories. Me, as usual, Jelly, our Glacier, our Lance, our Prince, and anyone who knows names will do. My co-host today is a former teacher and former Meadowbrook alum, Gerald Bell Navis. Our guest today needs no introduction to me because he was, for full disclosure in this discussion, was married to my sister Claudette for a short while in the late 70s and 1980s, and he might have to correct that if I'm not getting those dates right. But I have to give I have to give him a proper introduction because he was Meadowbrook's first track star. He started Meadowbrook in 1965, and I think he was the first person from Meadowbrook to get a track and field scholarship to go to the United States. And if my memory serves me right, University of Nebraska. But that's right. Without further ado, let me introduce Meadowbrook's first track star, Steadman Mason. Introduce yourself, Steadman, and then Jerry, you introduce back yourself.
Yes, sir. This is Steadman Mason. I'm glad to be on. Sounds like a very professional interview system you have here, you know.
Just practice. Glad to have you here, Steadman. And Jerry, introduce back yourself.
Yeah, Gerald Bell Navis, Meadowbrook past student, and also taught there for a few years. Happy to be here. Steadman was one of the persons that Meadowbrook FE would look up to. So very happy to be speaking with, having the chance to have a discussion with him. Haven't spoken to Steadman maybe in, I wouldn't begin to count how many years.
6 years or something like that, Jerry.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Yeah, man, good. Glad you could join us, Jerry. And I don't know if you know the format, Steadman, but it's just a conversation we have. And one of the first questions I always ask anybody who come on this program is, did you choose Meadowbrook or Meadowbrook chose you?
Oh, that's a very interesting question there. to be honest with you, back in those days, I take an exam to go to Campion.
Okay.
I took an exam to go to Campion, and I got accepted to Campion. But I also got accepted to Meadowbrook, and it was back in those days. I don't know if it's the same way nowadays. It was, you don't have to pay. You didn't have to pay to go to Meadowbrook, and I had to pay to go to Campion.
Oh, Campion was a private school, like you had to pay money.
Back in those days, Campion, was like a Catholic school and one of these type of things. They they weren't involved in champs and Manning Cup and it wasn't my choice. My parents made the choice.
You mean that they chose to send us to Meadowbrook?
Yeah, right. I don't know why they chose, because like I said, you had to apply to Campion. Campion was a private school and so I really didn't have a whole lot to say in the whole thing. I just ended up at Meadowbrook. I went to Meadowbrook Prep School. I know a lot of guys, and so I ended up in Meadowbrook First Farm in '65.
Okay. So where you were living at the time, in Meadowbrook itself?
Yeah, you would know. I was because I came to Jamaica when I was about 10.
I mean, came from where?
I was born in the U.S.
Okay, I didn't know that. Yeah.
So my sister and myself came to came to my parents were Jamaican, so they sent us down there around when I was about 10, 11. And to be honest, I had only been to Jamaica one time to visit.
Okay, before that.
Yeah, and I was hoping, they had a hurricane before I was coming, and I was hoping that the hurricane was gonna wash Jamaica off the map because I really wasn't interested in it. You don't want to leave. You don't want to leave your parents. And I really wasn't interested in going to Jamaica. And after a while, I got used to it. Because I used to go home. I used to go home every summertime, and what really happened was that I started going home at Christmas, and every Christmas, my parents were living in Chicago, and it was you would leave Jamaica 75 degrees, and you end up in Chicago. It's like -10. So I got to the point where I was, you want to visit your parents, but you got used to the tropical weather. So
you didn't want to stay at all. You got used to the warm weather.
Yeah, and my same thing with my daughter. My daughter, she went to boarding school in Jamaica at age 10.
Yeah.
She was born in the U.S. and at first she didn't want to go, but after a while she didn't want to come home either. She got used to it.
So history repeats. Yeah, go ahead, Jerry.
No, that wasn't me. I think it was Steadman.
Oh, yeah. So history repeating itself.
No, I don't know if it's repeating itself. Well, yeah, with my daughter.
With the daughter, right.
Because it was. I mean, as far as the education is concerned, the high school in Jamaica is 10 times better than what was going on in the U.S. And she was at a point. I mean, there was because I used to go out of town a lot, and the situation was some days she wasn't even going to school
in the States.
And, yeah, right. And she was watching TV, and she was definitely headed in a wrong direction. And we just and the thing is, she got into Holy Childhood because my father had some contacts at Holy Childhood. Because she didn't even take the common entrance exam.
Yeah. I got you.
She just got into Holy Childhood and she went all the way through sixth form, and she ended up going to UWI.
Yeah.
And she's a lawyer right now, living in Florida.
Yeah, she fell in love with Jamaica. But that sounds like you. That's what I'm saying. That sounded like you.
Yeah, same way. Because most of her friends, though, she has friends for life that she met while she was there. And when you talk to her, she almost has sometimes has a Jamaican accent, and then she change off to a U.S. accent.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask you that you grew up in the U.S. until 10, and I don't hear a U.S. accent from you.
Well, when I'm in Jamaica, when you talk to most Jamaicans, they don't think I'm Jamaican. They think I'm from like Bahamas.
That's kind of true too. Yes,
small islands. They don't think because I came back from Nebraska after 2 years and went to UWI.
Yeah. We're going to get into that. So when you pass, so you did pass the exam and your parents sent you to Meadowbrook. You never hear about, but you were going to Meadowbrook Prep, so you were aware of the high school next door then.
Yeah, I was aware, but to be honest, I don't remember me having much say in the decision making at that point. I don't remember. They may have. I don't know. I don't really know because I went to Meadowbrook Prep and they told me you took common entrance I don't know if it's the same way now, but your name come out in the newspaper and you get linked up with a certain school. I mean that's I guess the school is dependent on where you're living.
It's something similar they're doing now. It's they call it a different name. They don't call it common entrance anymore. But it's something. That's what I went through when I started Meadowbrook in 1974, less than 10 years after you took the common entrance. It's a similar thing. You pass, and I wanted to go to Meadowbrook because my sister and my brother went to Meadowbrook, as you know, before me. So I wanted to go to Meadowbrook. So yeah. So
I didn't. Well, you didn't choose the school. I don't think you choose. They assign you to the school based on where you live. I think that's how it works.
Not necessarily Steadman. I don't know what it was like when you were, but after a while, you chose the school. In terms of when you're taking the exam, you put down the 2 schools you like, and then you pick the school. You don't must get the school you like, because sometimes.
So it doesn't have anything to do with where you live.
Sometimes they do. I don't think them know. You know exactly how you end up in the school. You pick the school, and if you get the school you like, you're lucky.
I don't know the system work at all. But some to answer your question, I don't know. I don't know exactly how them decide who go what school. But I pick for Meadowbrook. Some people pick for KC and go to go KC. I don't know what kind of matrix I use for decide who go which school.
Yeah, because I was the place I was living. The guy, two of us took the exam, and he went to Calabar.
Right.
And I went to Meadowbrook. I mean, both of us were going to Meadowbrook Prep.
Yeah. And you didn't put on a school name you wanted to go to.
Well, I don't. But to be honest. Maybe my parents put down a school, or maybe I put down a school. But I don't remember.
You don't remember? I got you.
I know that I took an exam to go to Campion, and I was set up to go to Campion, and then next thing you know, the thing came out that you've been accepted.
That's what it means. If you answer the question, like Meadowbrook chose you because your parents chose Meadowbrook for you.
Meadowbrook chose. Well, depending on how you look at it, I don't know how they decide who go where. To be honest, I know I was matched with Meadowbrook, and I was going to Meadowbrook Prep, and next thing I know, I end up in Meadowbrook first form.
Yeah. In a sense, I didn't choose for go Meadowbrook at all. You were setting your mind for go Campion because that's what you were practicing for. Yeah.
I almost transferred to Camperdown at one point in fifth form.
Oh, really? Yeah,
but it never really, it didn't pan out. It was because of the track thing. They had a better coach. They had Glenn Mills, I don't know if you know about Glenn Mills.
Yeah, man, Glenn Mills was there from that time.
Yeah, Glenn Mills was coaching Camperdown back in those. Well, we're talking about fifth form now. After Meadowbrook didn't have a coach and all this type of thing. Where we had they weren't very prominent in the track thing, and I got very, very serious about track.
Yeah.
I almost transferred, but it never really it didn't come out. It didn't really come to.
Yeah, I'm going to come back to that because I want to know more about that. So when you reached Meadowbrook, the first day you got to Meadowbrook now, what was the impression at the high school, the school you went to, that in a sense was next?
I mean, I'm what 12, and I think the headmaster was Mr. Bogle at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just you just take one day at a time. But to be honest with you, I remember the first day I came to Meadowbrook. My dad was there. He's passed away now several years, but he somehow he's trying to promote me as some type of runner.
Oh, really? From that time?
That's probably the first few days I was there, and he tell them guys to get the fastest runner in first form and line him up against me. I remember that. And they get this guy, I think the guy's name was Trevor Ware.
Yeah.
You probably don't know Trevor. I don't know if he was I don't know if he was in first form, but they send some guys and they find Trevor Ware and they line him up with me, and I'm trying to beat this guy. And I almost pull up lame trying to beat Trevor Ware. I don't know if he was. That's what I remember, during the first and I just started running track from first time I was there,
So you like track, or your father pushed you into track?
Well, it may have been a combination of both. He like I said, you can imagine you come to school, you don't even know anybody. He's telling them to get the fastest runner in first. I don't think he said the fastest runner in the school. He probably said to get the fastest runner in first form, and they go and find Trevor Ware.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't promote that. He's promoting that. So he used to run track. So that it was kind of, and I naturally, I guess I had a little bit of speed.
Mm-hmm.
So but I used to play all the sports, and I used to play not only track. I used to play football and
cricket. Yeah. Can you tell me about that yesterday? We'll get into that. Because I want to get...
Right, go ahead.
No, I want to get into that. But so, who are some of the schoolmates you remember, your classmates you remember in the first term you come to Meadowbrook, if you can remember some of them?
Robert Bamberry was back, because Robert Bamberry, he went to the prep school.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a guy named David Brandon.
Mm-hmm.
He was at the prep school. He was one of the guys, from fourth form. He was driving a car, so you always get to be friends with the guy who have a car.
Mm-hmm.
He had a car, so from fourth form he was driving to school. And then like Vinette Greenland, she was head girl back in my time with me, and she's now she's practicing OB in New York right now. And Bambury, I think Bambury did engineering. I think he might be in Florida. Robert Bambury.
Yeah, I think I seen him on Facebook too. Yeah.
I remember the Silvera brothers, the Silvera twins. You probably don't remember them.
No, I don't. I remember Bambury. I remember. I also remember. Vinette Greenland. I think she was. I remember her being. She was head girl. Was she?
Yeah, both of us. I was head boy and she was head girl.
At year. Yeah, I remember her.
But Silvera twins, they were identical twins, and they used to bowl pace.
Do not remember.
And they had a concrete pitch. I don't know if they had that concrete pitch when you were there.
Yeah, man, that pitch was there when I went to Meadowbrook, about the top field.
Yeah, up by where the school was. There's a concrete pitch down there. And you guys were bowling pace on that pitch. And back in my days, I don't know if they wear helmets now. Do they wear helmets in sunlight?
Not when I was there. When I was there, one person started wearing helmets was the end. Christopher Cheddar. But no helmets were there when they started playing cricket at Meadowbrook. No.
I don't know about now. But I don't know if they wear helmets now in sunlight. But I know they wear helmets in the higher level cricket.
Yeah. I don't know. That's a good question. Do you know if people wear helmets in sunlight? That's a regular thing now?
Yeah, I really don't know because I've been to a sunlight match in so many years. But I know more and more kids were choosing to wear them. So I don't know if it's a policy though. I don't know if there's a policy that everybody should wear one.
Helmet. Yeah, I don't know.
No, but these guys are bowling some serious pace on that cricket pitch. I mean, and you can stand up there. I mean, I really up to now. I could have been seriously hurt because I really wasn't a good cricketer because I'm coming from the States. I'm coming from the States and I don't play cricket. I play baseball. I play baseball.
Yeah. You used to baseball and that sort of thing.
What I did though, to learn cricket, I cut down a thing off a coconut tree, and I got a string up a little thing on a guava tree. I remember that, a string up a little thing on a guava tree, and after school I used to go home and practice cricket. You practice because I didn't know anything about cricket. And I gradually got, I never really got to be that good. I mean, I made the Sunlight team, but you're talking about making Meadowbrook Sunlight team back in those days. It wasn't really any time achievement.
Yeah. So who are some of the teachers you remember when you started Meadowbrook, apart from Mr. Bogle, the principal?
Well, Miss Headlam was to teach chemistry.
Oh, she has been there for so long. Yeah, really, yeah.
I don't know if that was in first form, but she came along, and then there was Mr. Thorpe came on a couple of years later, maybe the next year after, maybe my second year was Mr. Thorpe, second or third year. Mr. Bogle went to Wilmers. He transferred to Wilmers.
Yeah, I heard about that last night. Yeah.
Yeah, and Mr. Thorpe, he was at Calabar. I think he may have been assistant headmaster. And he came, and he used to teach. I think he was to teach in math at the higher level. He used to teach, and so there was the Headlam, and there was an art teacher. I don't remember her name, but she, I remember she was really, I forget her name. She used to, because I had a choice of doing Spanish, I think either Spanish or art. I spent 2 days in the Spanish class, and they said, no, you don't have a chance. They transferred me to art. And I spent
Who was that Spanish teacher? Miss McLennan?
Go ahead.
Was it Miss McLennan?
No, McLennan teach Spanish. Well, she may have been the Spanish teacher, but I didn't spend too much time with the Spanish because I didn't have too much talent with Spanish. So they transferred me to art. I don't remember the lady's name, but I spent about 2 days and I didn't have any talent with art, and I became the what do you call it now? They were the students were drawing me. I became because I couldn't draw. So
they became the model.
Yeah, right. They made me the model. So because they know I couldn't draw. I have no talent drawing. They realized that after 2 days. So I became the model, and I never last really too long with art. So that's some of the things I remember.
Yeah.
I remember a guy named Murdoch. I think he just passed away the other day, Mr. Murdoch.
Yeah.
He used to teach English.
Yeah. Miss Peterkin was there at the time?
Oh yeah, Miss Peterkin. She taught. I think she taught history.
History and Bible knowledge, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss. So she was there, and there was a guy who used to teach physics. I don't remember his name though. Offhand, he was
Not Mr. Gooden.
Gooden. Yeah, that's the one, Gooden. Because
Yeah.
when I went to, because he told me that because when I got that scholarship, that track scholarship, Mr. Thorpe was encouraging me not to take this.
Oh, why?
Well, he was because I also got accepted to UE at the same time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I applied to UE, and Mr. Thorpe was telling me, look, you have a better option going to UWI. But my back in those days, I had switched from academics more to track.
You wanted to be the next Donald Quarry?
Yeah, I was because I was in the Olympic trials in Jamaica. I came eighth. I came last. If I had to come sixth, I would have made the Olympic team in 1972.
And what distance did you run, Steadman?
I was running 400 meters at the time, 400 meters and 800 meters. But I was the 400 meters. After champs, I ran some good times. That's how I got the scholarship. This guy,
I got you.
yeah, the guy who was the coach, I forget his name. He used to go to Calabar, and he went to Nebraska, and he arranged here because I didn't even want to go to. I was trying to go to places like USC where it was much warmer in California.
Yeah.
And because Donald Quarry actually went to USC, and yeah, in fact he went to Nebraska as well.
Quarry.
Yeah, but by the time I got there, he had just left because it's not Nebraska is a very it's not like it's not tropical. This is you're talking like -10 degrees in the winter time.
In the Midwest, no, I know along those prairie there. I know some cold hard winter those there.
Quarry he spent 1 year there. He says too cold, and he got a scholarship to USC in California. But there were some KC guys there. There was Leighton Priestley was there from Kingston College. When I got there, my first year at Nebraska, Leighton Priestley had just come from the Olympics. He was he was on the Olympic. He was on the 4x4 team, and his fourth year there was you may not know you may not know about Leighton Priestley. He ran for Kingston College. He won the 400 at champs a couple of times. Yeah, but I played sports. I played on the Manning Cup team. Sunlight 1 year.
All right, so let me ask you this though: what the first game you played for Meadowbrook in terms of as representative for Meadowbrook, and how good was the team when they played for Meadowbrook? Like either Colts or Sunlight.
Well, I was on the Colts team. I played Colts cricket, and I don't even know if I played Colts cricket. I mean, but I was in most of the sports. I probably played Colts cricket. I remember the first time I actually went to champs. Like I said, Meadowbrook really wasn't all that organized in terms of sports. So they signed me up to do the high jump.
Yeah.
They signed me up to do the high jump in class. I think I was in class 3. So I didn't even jump the first height.
You got knocked out.
I got knocked out at the first height. You go in the first height. I didn't even jump the first height. Some guys don't even jump until about half the field is gone. I didn't. I don't know why they signed me up in high jump because they didn't sign me up to do any track events. And after that, then I gradually I played on the Colts team. I was on the Manning Cup team couple of years. There was a guy named Baldwin. I remember he was on the team. He used to be the goalkeeper.
Who are you talking about? Ricky Ballin?
Oh yeah, Ricky. I know Ricky Ballin. Well, he passed away a few years ago.
Yeah, Jerry know Ricky Ballin pretty well too. Yeah, Ricky Ballin was from the area to another side, I think. Yeah.
Atlanta. He was living in Atlanta, and he had a fortunate situation there.
Yes, very unfortunate.
Yeah, and in fact, I actually I went to visit Ricky Ballin a week before he passed away. Went up to Atlanta to talk to him about this project, and I didn't even realize Ricky. I mean, because I hadn't seen Ricky Ballin, we're talking about, I don't know when he passed. It may have been, I don't know what year that was, 2012 somewhere. I don't remember the exact year. But
almost 10 years, I think so, yeah. I can't remember the exact year, but
he had a business that he was doing in Atlanta. He had a type of lawn care business.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I met him. I went down to Atlanta to talk to him about this thing. And I didn't realize he was so tall. I mean, because he's probably about 6'4". But I didn't realize he was. I don't know if he's gotten bigger since I had seen him, because he was on the Manning Cup team as well.
Yeah.
Goalkeeper. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was goalkeeper, but he may have been backup goalkeeper. He may have been backup goalkeeper. But yeah, those are some of the people that I remember.
And for the record, not Steadman. Although I call you a Meadowbrook for a track star, I'm not the only one who said that. You know, when I was speaking to Ricky Ballin, younger brother, recently on the phone, Mikey Ballin, and you don't know him, Jerry know him. He asked,
I don't think I know Mikey. I don't think I know
Mikey
him.
didn't go Meadowbrook, but Mikey's young. Mikey about my age, so you wouldn't know him. And Mikey asked me, but all of the Ballins except Mikey went to Meadowbrook. There's about 7 of them.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah. Mike was the only one who went to Calabar, and Mikey asked me if I knew with Meadowbrook for a track star. I said, yeah. I said, Steadman Mason. Because I remember you getting the track scholarship for University of Nebraska.
Because they had some guys used to. I don't know really. I didn't follow. Like I said, Meadowbrook really wasn't that because I mean, like I said before, we would go to the National Stadium and get 12 love.
All right, before
I remember getting 12 love in the rain against Kingston College.
We'll get to some of those scores these days, you know. So no worry, we'll get to Jerry. Saw that.
I did.
We're getting back some of those scores, Steadman, these days, and I don't know. It's kind of depressing when I see it, but I don't want to. But I want to ask you a question, Steadman. When you went to Meadowbrook in 1965, what was the student population like? How many students was there, you think?
Well, I don't think it's anywhere like what it is now. But I mean, the class size, my class size was probably about 25, 30. I don't think it's anywhere. I don't know the actual number, but I don't think it's right now they have two sessions, evening and morning and evening. I don't know what it's like now.
That's one shift. They do have double shift more at Meadowbrook. I don't think so. That's one shift.
But I don't think there were many students.
Oh, you don't quite remember how many students were there?
I don't know the exact number of students, but I don't think there was as many.
Yeah.
But I had a good time in Meadowbrook. I enjoyed my time.
Yeah.
But it's just sports wise, you must have changed the culture there, because they didn't have a winning culture as far as sports was concerned.
Yeah,
you must have done something, because when I went the way I got to coach Mayor, I was at UWI.
So you had come back from Nebraska and started attending UWI.
Yeah, right. And then Mr. Thorpe called me one day and asked me if I want to come down there and help out some of the guys, see if there's any talent down there. And that's how I got to go down, because I wasn't even really I don't even know if they had a coach or formal coach, because I just know that Mayor came 5th. The year before, Mayor came 5th in the 800 meters, and he ran a very good time. He was like 152 something, and he came 5th.
Yeah.
Class, but it was a good time, and I wasn't really involved in. I don't even know if he had a coach, to be honest, because he didn't even have a sweatsuit bottom. I remember I bought him a sweatsuit, but I couldn't even find. I bought Mayor a size small. Mayor is about 6'2". Because we couldn't find the right size. I remember I went down to Time Store. I don't know if they have Time Store in Jamaica.
Not anymore. But we know the store you're talking about. It used to be on King Street, yeah.
And I'm a student. I didn't even have much money, but I mean, I bought him a sweatsuit bottom, and he used to wear this small, and he's about 6'3", so you imagine him wearing a small sweatsuit.
Size, yeah.
But that was but then the second year we started getting I formally was coaching Mayor only. I mean, I would tell Mayor you have to, because I never really tried to organize any type of track system down there. I just was focusing on Mayor, and I just told Mayor, look, you have to just ignore all these other guys, because I would coach anybody who would show up, but most guys don't even come to practice. And I wasn't really trying to encourage anybody. It was just I know that Mayor had a lot of potential, and he had to be very careful, because if you tell Mayor to run 40 miles in the rain, he would do it. because he had just like a natural. He was just he had a real strong desire to do good. So I mean, you have to be very careful what you told Mayor to do because he would do anything you tell him to do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and he was this guy for Woolmer's was his main competitor. Some guy, I forget his name now, and
Mm-hmm.
he just managed to win the 800 meters that year in class one. And he got a scholarship somewhere in New Jersey, I think.
Yeah. And
And
for the record, most of the people at Meadowbrook during my time know Donald Mayer as by nickname as Stally, because that's what we gave him nickname,
yeah,
Stallion.
you guys used to know because I guess you may have been in third form or you may have been in third form. Mayor was in fourth form, so you probably know Mayor good.
No, Mayer was in fourth farm and I was in first farm. So when I went to Meadowbrook, Mayer was 3 years ahead of me. But I know him good, as I say.
Yeah, Mayor was probably became a celebrity once he won champs.
Yeah, man, he was. I won the
Yeah,
Carifta Games, went to the Carifta Games, and I think he's the only person from Meadowbrook I've ever won Carifta Games gold medal for Jamaica. I don't think nobody has repeated that.
that's possible. Yeah, he went there and won the 800 meters. And the guy from Woolmer's came second.
Yeah, he was at the Bahamas. He was, I think that's what the game was held in Bahamas. 19. I saw that. I googled it and saw that. I googled it and saw it.
78 or something. 78.
Yeah. No, Stanley was good, man. I just say Stanley was dedicated, very good.
Yeah, he was dead. I mean, he just set up a little training program. He used to do weights on his own, and and I don't know if he may have just stopped playing cricket. He may have just focused on track. I don't know if he could. I thought he was on the Sunlight team.
Yeah, man, he was on the Sunlight team. He made the Sunlight team.
Fast bowler, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know if he played Sunlight while he was running track.
That's a good question. I think he did, if I remember something right, I think he did. Because that's the sort of dedication I get from Stally.
But I never get the impression he was really playing much cricket. I remember the first time I got associated with Mayor, he was like I wasn't really organizing it, but he was signed up to do the triple jump at champs, and I think he was 2 or 3 or 4 events he was signed up to do it. And he was probably doing all the sports. That was the first year class 1.
Yeah.
Second year class 1. I got the impression he wasn't doing all the sports. Maybe he was, but
no, maybe he wasn't. I don't remember. What I remember is that after Stally, yeah, maybe he was. I don't know. Cause I remember Stally coming after he left school, still coming back to Meadowbrook for complete cricket. And I don't know if he had given up the running for the time at that time, but he used to come back and play help us. We used to play Evelyn Cup and other school cricket where it was like school boys and farmer students that play together.
So he must have, because Mayor got a track scholarship. He went to New Jersey after the year he won champs. He went to the States for 4 years, and because he came back, and 4 years later, Mayor came to my house. I hadn't seen Mayor for 4 years.
Yeah.
One day I came home, and Mayor was on my porch.
Yeah.
He wanted to start. He wanted to start. I think he had just graduated from school in
New Jersey.
He came back to Jamaica, and he was still interested in track. I don't know, but it didn't really. He wanted to. I guess he didn't have he had no coach. But he was back in Jamaica now. He didn't have a good experience back in because running on a track scholarship is not the same as running in high school.
Yeah,
it's a big difference. But he managed he managed to go through the whole 4 years in the States, and he came back and saw him on my porch, and he was trying to get me to coach him again, and but we did that for maybe 6 months, and I'm not sure I don't know. Because I haven't talked to Mayor for years. I don't even know. I don't know if Mayor is in the States or in Jamaica or where.
He's in Jamaica, I think. I think he works at the Spanish Town Hospital. That's what I think. The last I hear, that's where he works.
Because I didn't try. I think you gave me a phone number for Mayor, but I didn't try to get.
I don't get him when I call him, but that's the only phone number I have for him.
But I was trying to look him up on Facebook, but I could never really.
No, some people just not on that social media thing at all, as them would say. So them no want to.
Some people, I'm not really on it yet. I just changed my picture recently, but I don't really. But now and again, I get because I used to have only one friend. I had one friend on Facebook one time.
Yeah.
That was my only friend. Go ahead, go on.
Yeah, no question is, so you came to Meadowbrook now, and you say you played all of the sports. Talk about some other sports that you play, like cricket and football.
Yeah, all the sports. I mean, soccer, football, cricket, track and field. Those are the three sports. I mean, they didn't have anything like basketball. I mean, I used to play on the table tennis team, and we weren't. I mean, we weren't that bad, but we weren't like I said. Meadowbrook wasn't a big time sports school like Kingston College. I mean, to hear about Meadowbrook winning something like Sunlight was unbelievable.
Yeah,
that's something because when I saw that, I thought it was a misprint. I saw that because I was at UA. I think I was at UA when I look at what year you won the Sun. What year was that? 70?
No, 1982. 1982.
Yeah, I was just leaving Meadowbrook. I think I was just leaving UA, and I must have read in the newspaper Meadowbrook or heard a rumor that Meadowbrook won Sunlight. So you must be making a mistake. Meadowbrook? You sure you talk about Meadowbrook? Win Sunlight cricket? So that, because I remember I told you earlier that the record I remember setting with Meadowbrook and Sunlight was St. Andrew Tech scored 382 runs against Meadowbrook on a one-day match. We're talking about a one match. What time Sunlight used to start? 11 o'clock?
10 or 11 o'clock, yeah. Wait,
Yeah, because they were trying to go for the record. When they reached 250, they said they're going for the record in schoolboy Sunlight, and they reached 340 or 350 by about 5:15, and they sent Meadowbrook in the bat at 5:30. That time is getting dark now. You're trying to hope for a draw, and they bowled out Meadowbrook before 6 o'clock. They bowled out the whole team.
Right. All I want to tell me that in the 300 something runs in a one day. Who were the bowlers in Meadowbrook? You remember them?
In fact, they have me bowling, so you must know how bad Meadowbrook was. They have me opening up the bowling. Sledgy. I don't even want to bowling. I'm not really trying to get involved in this bowling, but Sledgy giving me the new ball to bowl.
Yeah.
And I'm there bowling, and guys hit a shot right back to me, and it's too hot to hold. I couldn't hold on to it, and the refs said, and the umpires said, those are the type of things you have to hold on to. And so I was out there till 5:30. They scored 3. It was headlines in the next day newspaper. Stats score record 358 runs against Meadowbrook in Sunlight cricket and bowl out Meadowbrook at 610.
So
those are the kind of sports things Meadowbrook was used to.
Yeah, so you remember some of the players who were playing for Stats at the time? These must have been West Indian cricket players.
Yeah, some of them guys probably played for Jamaica, but I don't remember the names of those guys. I remember a guy named a guy from Wolmer's. He went on to be a Rhodes Scholar. I think his name was can't remember the guy. He used to be the wicketkeeper for Mordecai, right? Something. He was a wicketkeeper for Wolmer's.
Jeffrey Mordecai, yeah.
Yeah, Jeffrey Mordecai. I don't know if he ever played for Jamaica.
I don't know. Jared, did Jeffrey Mordecai ever play for Jamaica?
It's a good question. He might have. I know he might have played for Jamaica, but I know he definitely didn't play for the West Indies because he could have, but he took.
No, but he played. He was a wicketkeeper for Wolmer's, and I think he got a Rhodes Scholarship.
He did. He did law. He did law, and I think he kind of went into he chose that field over the professional
sports.
He was probably the best wicketkeeper at one point. And we played Senior Cup, and he was among the best wicketkeepers in Senior Cup, and that's how he made the Jamaica team anyway.
He was better
probably he could have played. I know he played for Jamaica young under.
Schoolboy. He played for the schoolboys, probably under 19 or under 20 team.
Definitely, I think he captained that team if my memory serves me correctly.
And I remember Michael Holding was going to UWI. I used to see Michael. I don't know how far he went at UWI, but he was doing some.
He only did like 1 year. 1 year.
Yeah, I don't know if how prominent he was as a fast bowler back. I don't know when Michael Holland became prominent, but we're talking about like 74, 75. So I'm not sure.
Yeah, Mikey
when
became a professional when he went to Australia in 1975. I think that's when he gave up UA. I didn't realize when Australian tour, that famous tour night.
I remember he was. I mean, he was well known as a bowler because he was doing part time at UA, but that was around 70, 75 somewhere there. He was at 76 somewhere. He was on campus, and maybe he gave up UA.
He gave up UA before that. 'Cause by 76, he was tearing England apart. That famous.
And the guy wasn't even all that big. I mean, if you look at Holden, I mean, he didn't strike me as being any type of imposing figure in terms of size. He didn't look like a guy who could generate that type of pace just by looking at him.
What he did.
What he did, right?
The Sox. I want Sir Jeffrey Boycott. He will. That famous over against him at Kensington Oval. So yeah. So the football matches now. You talk about. I remember Meadowbrook beating Trenchtown in the 1960s.
That was one match. That was one match that we played. That was like they almost gave Meadowbrook a holiday because we beat Trenchtown one year, 3-2. And then Trenchtown, we had to kind of sneak out to the stadium because Trenchtown, you're thinking the bad area, and them guys don't take too kindly to lose. No, I mean nobody expected Meadowbrook to beat Trenchtown. That was like a big time upset.
It was one of the biggest upsets in a schoolboy history. Probably remains that way. Jerry, you know of a bigger upset than that one?
They had a very good team. They had a guy named Dago on the team.
Yeah, Dago God. Go ahead, Jerry. Sorry.
No, I can't think of any other one of that magnitude, but I could be wrong. But that was quite an upset. I agree.
Yeah, man.
So, yeah, that was. I don't remember what year. I don't remember what year that was, but I mean.
So
I was in fifth form. I was in fifth form then, I think.
So you didn't play on the team, Steadman?
Yeah, I was on that team. In fact, I scored one of the. Actually, they call it a defender goal, but I to this day I say I scored a goal, but they call it a defender.
I mean, when you say you scored a goal against Meadowbrook, that's what they're saying?
No, I scored the first goal because we had Trenchtown down 3-0.
Oh, really?
In the first goal, I think I took a left foot shot, and I think the defender was trying to get it out, and he basically kicked it into the goal. He was trying to, because the ball was headed for the goal, and he tried to kind of kick it out, and it went in. So they call it the defender goal, and so we had Trenchtown down 3-0, and they came back 3-2, and so that was one of the few. Bright spots in terms of Mining Cup football. And I never played I didn't play after that year because after that year, I was focusing mainly on track.
On track and field. I got you. So you went to sixth form as well?
Yeah, I went to 6A, but like I said, but by the time I got to 6B, I wasn't focusing on academics anymore. I was more focusing on
track and field.
Trying because I did my when I came fourth in class 2, my first year class 1, I didn't do very well, so I was focusing on doing well in my last year class 1, and I got to the finals in the 400 meters. I was in the finals 400 and 800 in class 1. I fell down in the 800 final, and I didn't start the finals for the 400. So that was my experience, class 1 champs. I had some good times after champs, and because I was running, under 48, and that's how I got the scholarship to go to Nebraska.
Well, let me ask you something, though. You almost have brushed it off and take it lightly, But you said no coach was at Meadowbrook. How did you get so good as a track athlete?
We had a coach. I forget because I was a self motivated type of guy. I used to have a book on track, and I used to we did have a coach. I shouldn't say we didn't have a coach, but most of the times during my time at Meadowbrook, there was no formal, nothing like the type of thing that was going on at KC. It was nothing like this. that KC had. Sometimes the coach didn't come to practice and that type of thing. So you became very independent. And I don't even know how much I was. I don't know even how much I was coached in class 2. I don't know if. But I know that after champs, I was pretty much coaching myself.
Yeah.
I was setting my own workouts, and I forget the guy's name. Who's that Mr. Thorpe had hired for my. But it was the year before, it was a different coach, a bald head guy. I forget his name. He was a coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it was Meadowbrook wasn't focusing on on sports.
No.
That's why I'm surprised how I don't know. Up to now, I don't understand how they got so good to win Sunlight Cricket. They must, like I said, the culture must have changed or something must have happened. That because Meadowbrook wasn't a sports school. It wasn't type. It was more. I guess they were focusing on academics, but not even academics wasn't even all that great. So I don't know what doing. Maybe in your time, maybe you can tell me what happened while you were there. How you got to the point where you could get Meadowbrook to win Sunlight.
Well,
I don't know if it was
well, Jerry, Mr. Bell Nevis was there. So he was a teacher there at the time.
It was organization. We had a structure. We had a coaching staff. We had a back.
Oh, you had a formalized cricket coach.
Yeah, well, luckily the sports master at the time was, really, really good at coaching several sports, and he kind of developed a program. And then there was support. There was support from past students and current teachers. So it was organized. It was what was not there before. It was organization, finding the talent, and actually, having a program. Like you said earlier. Back in your time, there wasn't that much serious coaching, and
there really was.
There was no support.
Yeah, a lot of times it was embarrassing the type of things that was happening to Meadowbrook. I mean, the year before you won, how did Meadowbrook do the year before you won the Sunlight? Were you competitive?
No, man, it was a progression. Me latch on to a G a second. G kind of underselling some of the things modestly, but we went to the Sunlight. We were at the Sunlight Cup semi-finals in 1980. We went to the quarterfinals in 1977. So it was a progression of improvements that blossomed out into the 1980s, where we won Sunlight Cup for 3 times in 4 years, from 82 to 86. And I want to think, as you mentioned, that Mr. Tarp, the set you was coach Sally, or Mir, as you call him.
He never really asked me to coach him. He called. I was staying at Chancellor Hall at that time.
And him called for us come help out. Well, what Mr.
He never said come and help out. He just said come down there and see if we have any talent.
Well, all right. Let me tell you a story about. You asked about the cricket. Let me tell you a story about that.
I wasn't paid. I wasn't paid to coach Charlie. He never said come and we're going to give you a part-time job.
No. And I'm going to tell you a similar story what happened with the cricket, right? There was a particular teacher, and I always talk about him. He came to Meadowbrook to teach chemistry, and one name is Mr. Neville Beckford. And I think he remembers you too. When I talked to him about it, he remembers you. He started Meadowbrook in 1976, I think, or 77. 76, right? Because so he came to Meadowbrook.
I was gone.
Yeah. But I think you probably have met him down at Bottomville when you were coaching Stanley. And Mr. Beckford came as a chemistry teacher. And Mr. Tarp saw him one day and said he was a graduate from UA like yourself. And Mr. Tarp hear about him saying Mr. Tarp asked him at the interview if he played in another sport, and he said he used to play cricket up at UA. So Mr. Tarp said to him one evening say, call him and say, I want you to just go help out with the cold cricket. Just like how him said to you. I want you to just go ahead.
Mr. Tarp was a very good organizer.
Mr. Tarp.
Students, because when I came back from Nebraska, he set up a meeting with all the old students at the school, and he was the one who was setting up that type of thing.
Yeah.
So he was a good organizer in terms of old students, but I never really I was never a formal. It was never a formal agreement between me and Meadowbrook.
No, well, exactly the same thing with Mr. Beckford. Mr. Beckford was no coach. He had never coached a team before. He never think him come and Meadowbrook for coach. And Mr. Tarp said to him, but what Mr. Beckford was good at was spotting talent. Mr. Beckford coached the Colts team. I was a member of that Colts team in 1977. And we
Right.
reached the Colts final, the first time in Meadowbrook history that a Colts team, and we were good. We were very, very good. And that was the foundation for say. And then the next coach that that Jerry talking about, Mr. Bellman's talking about, was came on in 1978, Mr. Here. So both Mr. Here and Mr. Beckford were instrumental in getting the support from people like Jerry. Was a very integral part of the building of the foundation that led to Meadowbrook being a sports champions, a sports dynasty, I call it, in the 1980s. It built
So, go ahead.
it
Go
built
ahead.
a 1977 Colts team with Mr. Beckford. And what Mr. Beckford did and what Mr. Year continued to do when they came. For the first time in my mind, they started picking team at Meadowbrook based on merit. You're going to get a game because you come to training and you perform. Before
you come to practice, right?
Yes. I was started practicing hard and practicing every day. And there was a system, as there is an organization. And that after being placed, your team is successful. It can't no other way. And
it can't be accidental, and that's the kind of things that KC has. KC and JC, they have a lot of old boy participation and have a lot of very good organization. That's why KC has been winning. I think KC start winning champs again. I think KC's won champs for 2-3 years in a row now because they try to get the old boys back into the fabric of the thing. But
you said the right word, Steadman. It can't be accidental. It can't be accidental at all.
Not and because the culture was not there when I was. They never had the type of culture. I think the football team was doing well as well. I don't know if football. I think Meadowbrook's football team.
The football team won Walker Cup after the cricket team started.
I read that as well. I said I must be a misprint. The whole thing carry over from. I mean, like I said, it's a mentality.
Yeah, the culture changed at the school, man. The culture changed at the school, and the culture started changing. I say. From 1977, and then the football team started doing well in 1978. And then the culture started changing. And by the time Mr. Year and Mr. Beckford and Mr. Belnevis was part of that culture changing too. The culture of the players started to change. And it resonated throughout the school. And the school started feeling like they could have win and beat schools.
Yeah, right. Because back in my time, people used to look at Meadowbrook as a sure win. When you're playing Meadowbrook at Manchester. You're gonna get 6-0 from it. The other teams expecting to, that they don't expect Meadowbrook to put up any challenge.
And one of the most important matches I think, Steadman, that happened at Meadowbrook, from Meadowbrook, before it wasn't even the quarterfinals we reached. At Meadowbrook beat KC in a 1978 Manning Cup, 1-0, and it's the first time Meadowbrook.
That's been a big.
Yeah, man, the first time we ever beat KC, and I think that one incident and that one goal continued the mindset shift that happened that propelled us to start winning in the 1980s. Because before, there was a belief that those schools have them things that Meadowbrook is a girls' school, as Devon Jeffrey used to say.
Because KC, I remember I said KC gave us 12 love at the stadium from India. I remember the guy from India. Was KC's best player, right?
And then as I talk, I forgive that coach credit too. He started coaching the team in 1974. He got the job. Mr. Top hired him to get the job, to do the job. And he developed a culture where by the time he was there for 4 years, by 78, Meadowbrook had beaten KC. And we were on target to start doing better and better. And we did get better and better. The cricket team got better first because Mr. Year was inside of the school and could have seen the talent them much easier. Whereas the Manning Cup team, the Manning Cup coach was never in the school to spot the talent as quickly. And Mr. Year was responsible for cricket more than football. Mr. Year got
he was teaching at the school.
He was a sports master, man, whereas the Manning Cup coach was outside of the school. So, but we were on track for that. The culture of the school started changing Steadman in the 1970s. Without a doubt. It changed during the lifetime I was at school. When I went to Meadowbrook in 1974, as I say, you're afraid for your airport at the stadium because you know, say, school I get beaten.
Yeah, right. I remember when I was head boy, I had to give a talk. At prize giving, you give a talk, and I was talking about the time for Meadowbrook getting 12 love needs to change. I remember those. I remember those teachers was telling me not to, because I had to show them my talk. I had to show the headmaster my talk before I actually gave the talk.
You had to give approval.
Yeah, right. And I was talking about and they were telling me not to. Then I need to leave out this thing about Meadowbrook getting 12 love and this, that, and the other. But I mean, it was definitely something that I thought had to change. I mean, I think the days of us getting 12 love and getting people scoring 360 odd runs in a something like
one day. I can't imagine that. Trust me, I cannot even imagine that team had scored 300 against our team in other days. And
I know I was experiencing it because I was in the field from 11 o'clock to like 5:30, so I know what it felt.
And them be clear, I know it's not like them all out.
I know what it felt like because I was in the sun, and now for 6 hours, 6 hours, and they're trying to get the records. That's.
Well, let me ask you something. Look, I said something very important. You say you are the head boy now, and you decide that you want to give a speech for the culture of the school change in terms of getting 12. Why was that important to you? Why do you think that was important?
I didn't decide to get the speech. It was just a traditional prize.
No, I know it was a tradition. But I'm saying, why decide to write a speech like that? Where you're saying, well, I'm saying you were troubled by the 12 love. Why were you troubled then?
Because I don't know, maybe something a part of me. I felt that none of these other schools were better than Meadowbrook. It's just a question of attitude, because it's a question of application and approach and mentality. And I felt that we just needed to change, because I mean, nobody seemed to be dedicated in sports.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, I don't know. When people start training for champs, they start training about 2 months before champs, or 1 month. And in KC, them guys start training year before champs, years in some cases.
And that's what you see mentioned that 7. That's another thing. The Sunlight team started training the same time the Money Cup team started training.
Yeah, there's a whole different approach.
It's a professional approach it took. Yes. They mentioned that, and that's one I think when we started here introduced, the coach came in and we started with weights training, we started with fitness training. You see what I'm saying? So we were training long before.
Yeah, they'll start training for football when you come to school in September. Now is the time you start focusing on the Money Cup season, and the first game is in 2 weeks.
No, you can't do that. It's almost like yeah.
And the KC man, them training throughout the summer. The old boys picking up people, carrying them to. That was the type of thing that they didn't have that in Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
Left at the time I left, that wasn't even there, and you somehow, like I said, it kind of, I don't know what it's like now, but you were a part of that change.
Yeah, the tradition it changed in my lifetime. I agree that. I admit that. So let me ask you something though. What sort of uniform they wore at Meadowbrook at the time? I remember my sister wearing a beret. Was it 6 formers who wear that, or it was just?
I don't know. I guess the girl. I don't know how. The 6 formers used to wear a white shirt and a tie.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boys used to wear a tie at 6th form, and then you have the Meadowbrook epaulets.
Yeah.
From 1st to 5th form, you have epaulets, and in 6th form, you get to wear the tie.
Yeah. So who wore the beret? What age group wore that beret?
I don't know. I don't remember the beret. I don't know if they may have had a beret, but I don't even know if it was really how many of the girls actually wore it.
Maybe it was an official thing. Maybe.
Official part.
I can't recall that either. I can't recall them wearing one either, but I could be wrong. But
they may have had a beret, but I don't know if maybe some of the girls.
Maybe she wore a beret. Then that's what I asked her.
Maybe some of them wore it and some of them didn't wear it, but it wasn't like a formal.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So when you went to Meadowbrook, Steadman, who are some of the students or the teacher who inspired you when you're at Meadowbrook? We look on and say, yeah, man, you want to be like that person when you grow up. Were there any teacher or student who inspired you?
When I got to 6th form, my thought process wasn't. I wasn't academically motivated. I think I passed 1 A level. I think I got. I got an A level. I think I passed odd maths. I got about 8 O levels. But A levels is a different type of thing. A levels is not.
Yeah. I know that. Yeah.
You don't just walk in and pass the A levels. So
it's a different kick to fish shot. I agree with you.
I didn't pass. I don't think I passed any A levels because I wasn't focusing on studying.
Yeah.
I was focusing on track. But I mean, Mr. Thorpe was a very motivated type of guy. He was a very good headmaster. He was very interested in sports. In fact, he used to come out there and even play cricket with the sunlight. I don't know if I don't know if he was a coach, but he used to see Mr. Thorpe on the field when the team is practicing.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. He used to practice with the team?
Not regularly, but maybe every now and again you'll see Mr. Thorpe. I remember another student, Dennis Grant. He played on the Sunlight team and the football team.
Yeah.
He would always. I mean, Dennis Grant is the type of guy. I don't think he went to sixth form, but he used to always joke about this other guy, but this guy was on the soccer team, and as soon as the coach would reach, he would say the coach started clapping his hand, and he was to call off that every time he come to the guys, the other guys on the field playing, and he would clap his hand and tell the guy to come off the field. It was like he didn't want the person playing for Meadowbrook, and Grant would always make a big joke out of that because this guy could never play. He could never be on the field if the coach was in the area.
Yeah.
The coach had this. Yeah, but those I remember Dennis Grant, Michael Bamber. Michael Bamber was 2 years before me. You probably You might know Michael Bamber.
Yeah, I know the name. I know the name.
So he did medicine at UWI.
Yeah. I remember that though.
He was in sixth form with me.
Michael Bamber went to sixth form too. I didn't know he went to sixth form.
Yeah, with me. He was in my year.
Yeah, so he went to UWI and he did the medical faculty there.
72.
So, yeah, he went. He went. When I came back to UWI from Nebraska. I came back in '74, and UWI gave me credit for one subject that I did in Nebraska. 2 years in Nebraska, they gave me credit for one chemistry. So I pretty much had to start over. So I had to start. Those 2 years in Nebraska, I got credit for one chemistry course.
Yeah.
When I came back. But it was free back then. I don't know if it's free now. That was one of the reasons I came back. They used to pay you to go to school.
Mm-hmm. I had gotten in to UA and Mr. Top encouraged you to go on the side because he wanted to do the track.
I got into UA 2 years prior, but I mean, it's probably a good thing I didn't go to UA then because my mentality wasn't really ready for UA.
No, you wanted to try your track career.
Yeah, I was more because it was a good thing I didn't. When I came back to UWI, I was more motivated for academics at that time, and they you got free boarding. They used to give you like money every
semester. I remember that. Yeah, student grant and all that thing there. Yeah.
You go to the bank and you pick up money. They used to give you I don't know if it's a meal tickets, but you get free meals.
Yeah.
So it's not like I don't know if it's like that now.
No, definitely not.
More.
Definitely not, man. That I mean, that changed. Yeah, man.
Right.
I used to get that when I just started CAS and UA, and that changed. That process to where it looked like the money just run out, where they couldn't subsidize the students anymore, so we didn't get no more money as a student grant. I forget what I used to call it, but I used to get a check every week, every month when I started CAS. I said, nice. Free money.
Yeah. I think that was maybe Michael Manley was in forward back then.
Yeah. But by the time I started UA, the government had changed, and they said, no, we cannot afford that no more. So yeah.
No more freeness. But that was a good thing, though. To be honest with you, have a lot of students.
So was Mr. Chin at school the time you were at the school?
Yeah, but I never really came in contact with Mr. Chin. Mr. Chin, in fact, I was in the cadet corps.
Okay.
But I had no talent for cadet. They were trying their best to promote me in the cadet corps, but I really wasn't. One time they had me. They tried to have me in charge of the squad. You give orders to get the squad, the cadet corps. I have half the squad going one direction, half the squad going the other direction. So they realized that really wasn't my thing, They were trying their best to get me promoted to a higher level because head boy and all that kind of thing. But
Yeah.
that caddy thing was really. I was in the caddy corps, but I wasn't really.
Yeah.
Leadership part. But Mr. Chinner, he was in charge of the caddy corps. He used to teach history.
Yeah.
He may have taught you.
No,
Mr.
Chin.
He taught
economics and geography, I think.
Yeah, economics. But he was a very popular teacher. I know that he was very popular with everybody.
Yes, you would.
Yeah,
but I never.
Rattigan team on top of Mr. Chin. Mr. Chin had bet him. Wilfred Rattigan, who was on the program last week, came on top of Mr. Chin, and Mr. Chin had bet him to take some wickets. So he won some money from Mr. Chin by taking money per wicket. Yeah. And that was that time Meadowbrook started to compete a little better. We weren't getting ball out for 17 or get 300 against us. We could have competed. We weren't winning consistently, but we were competing.
So it was a gradual process.
Yeah, it was a gradual process, man. I think maybe your speech had inspired people, and I said, but we can't try and win. Maybe.
I was just upset about the whole thing. I said, man, you need to do a little bit better than that. It doesn't look.
Maybe a couple of students heard the message, and I said, but I said, why we can't start with? Maybe they did. And it was
Mayor, when I started coaching Mayor, he looked like he had a winning mentality. It wasn't me. I didn't give Mayor the. He was already a part of Mayor.
Yeah, he might have self-motivation, and that is a key.
Because Meadowbrook didn't have any big-time track team.
No.
When I would go down there to the bottom field, I would meet Mayor. We would sometime even on Saturdays we'd be meeting down there.
Yeah.
And I didn't see nobody else training.
But him alone, yes. Yeah.
Mayor was self-motivated, and I don't even know how much he was training the year he came 5th at Champs.
Yeah. No, he was training. He was training like you, self-motivated person, hard and a holy. He didn't need nobody at all.
He may have been coaching himself. I don't know.
No, he was. I would have said that. And maybe there are other coaches, and him can't come and speak for himself. Hopefully, I can get him and say which one of the coaches help him. But for those days in Meadowbrook, if you're not self-motivated, it'll go hard to produce a result, and you prove that with your self-motivation. I think Stanley did that too. That's my impression.
Yeah, but when Mr. Starr called me to go down and talk, see if they have any talent, I'd never seen any other coaches doing anything.
So you never seen no other talent but Mayor then? That's what you're saying?
Well, I didn't say that, but I knew about Mayor from the year before at Champs. He had come 5th.
Okay, you saw him at Champs. Because you went to Champs. You go to Champs every year no matter what though.
No, yeah, I still go to Champs pretty regular. I went to Champs up to last year. So I still go to Champs as a spectator, but I remember the year before I really started dealing with Mayor, he came 5th, and Mr. Clark called me, and he called and asked me to come down there and see if they have any talent.
Yeah.
And somehow me and Mayor started connected, and next thing you know, we had a formal program going, and like I said before, you have to be very careful what you tell Mayor, because he would do anything you tell him. He wanted to win that, but he was that type of guy. He wanted to, no matter what you said to Mayor, and we would just we would talk to each other every week, and we would even Champs is around March. We're talking even probably around September.
September, I'm already up. Yeah. That's
off-season training. I think you start training for that second year. You start training probably about a month after Champs, the year before.
No, man, it's dedication, Steadman. I can't vouch for that. It's dedication. If you were Meadowbrook for a track star, this one, done at Mayor, Sally, would have been Meadowbrook second track superstar.
Yeah, guys before me, but I don't know. I didn't go into the history of the track. Because Meadowbrook,
no, I don't know. The point is, I don't remember nobody else winning a track scholarship before you. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. I don't know about track scholarship, but maybe I was the first track scholarship. But I don't know about people participating at Champs. Yeah, I don't. Before me, I don't know. I never really check into it. But because I know the first time I went to Champs, they signed me up to do a high jump.
You did talk about that.
I don't know why they chose high jump. I don't know why they picked that, because I may have won high jump during what you call that thing we have at Meadowbrook every year? The
Sports Day.
I won the high jump at Sports Day, but I don't know why the coach would choose high jump.
I talk about Sports Day, man. What house were you in?
Ward.
I was in the Ward House, the Red House.
Oh, you're in Ward. Okay. Henry Ward. Okay.
I don't know why the coach signed me up for that one thing and nothing else.
Yeah.
So clearly the management and the organization was very lucky back then.
Let me ask you another couple questions. Any fun memories you remember at Meadowbrook on the training ground or in the classroom or field trip that you want to talk about? Any fun memories but going to Meadowbrook?
Well, I mean, fond memories. Like I'm trying to think of what I could really pinpoint as fond memories. I know I spent 7 years at Meadowbrook, and I know that after my performance in Class 1, I was prepared to move to go to Camperdown.
Yeah.
I was trying to make. It was just me making the plans, and my parents weren't involved in it. And Mr. Thorpe wasn't involved in it. It never really materialized to anything. It was. I remember the guys at Camperdown champs. They would tell me everybody who come to Camperdown have to smoke weed. That's what those guys told me. I mean, and I mean, I was never really into the weed smoking, but I mean, I was only thinking of going to Camperdown because of the coach. It was Glenn Mills, and they were doing very, very well. And they used to call it the Sprint Factory.
Yeah.
But I don't know if they still call him the Sprint Factory.
Yeah, they still have that reputation. Yeah.
It's hard to pinpoint this
any particular memory that. Yeah. I didn't know Camperdown. I didn't know Glenville.
I'll tell you one thing. I wasn't interested in being head boy. I didn't really want that job. I was telling Mr. Top, I really wasn't interested in doing that. I had other things I wanted to focus on. And he somehow talked me into taking the job, So
that was like a distraction for you. I hear you.
Yeah, I really didn't want to do that, but he somehow said this, and the other, and I ended up doing that for 1 year. And I remember one time I was in Mr. Thorpe's office. I can tell you this though, I was in Mr. Thorpe's office talking to him about something, and that art teacher was in I don't remember the secretary's name.
Mr. Thorpe's secretary?
He had two secretaries. He had when you go to Mr. Thorpe's office, when you go up on one side, there was one secretary. His office was in the middle.
Yeah, there's one secretary I remember. Maybe she's there for years. Mrs. Smith?
Yeah, Smith was the first one. So I remember I was in Mr. Thorpe's office talking to him about something. And this lady, the art teacher's name was Lawrence. I don't know if she was there when you were there. It was Miss Lawrence. And she came while I was in Mr. Thorpe's office talking to Mr. Thorpe. Miss Lawrence came into Mr. Smith's office and saying she need to see the headmaster about this, and the other, and this. And she's complaining about this. And Mr. Thorpe said, "Look, I don't really want to talk to that lady. I can't really. I'm not to do it. That lady's always complaining." Said the two of us left through Miss Campbell's office to go down the other. Mr. Thorpe don't want to have nothing to do with Miss Lawrence. But that was the arts teacher. She was I guess he didn't have a very good relationship with her. I remember that one situation. So I said, "Look, two of us." But he said, "Steadman, come, let me just go through this out. I don't want no time."
Just hide from her. That one is good. I must.
I said, "I don't have to go. I really don't want to have. I don't really want to have. I don't want to talk to them." Me out of the office. He took me out to the office and threw Miss Campbell's office downstairs.
You want a secret exit?
Yeah, well, Campbell was I think she was like the bursar or something.
Yeah, man, yeah. I understand him. I remember the office, man. I didn't know him could have slipped through one door and hide from whom I want. Jerry, were you aware of that trap door? You were aware of that door, Jerry?
No, I was not.
And I remember one time a caning from Mr. Cook.
You got a caning?
Yeah, I don't know if they still do. I mean, you had a choice. They gave me a choice of doing either detention or taking the caning.
Yeah, and you took the caning.
Yeah, I think I took the caning. I took maybe about 4 strokes, but I mean, I don't know. Mr. Thorpe is a guy who used to do the caning. I didn't see what it was It was never turned out to be any big event because I didn't find it anything. I just took the 4 strokes and that was it. But
you prefer the caning to the detention?
But a choice. Again, I don't know. I don't know if they always give choices, but this particular instance, they gave me. I don't remember what the instance was.
But
I
you
was
got a
probably in third.
choice, yeah.
Yeah, but somehow. Go ahead.
No, I got caning, but I never got no choice. So
Yeah, I could either get do a detention or a caning, and
no, I don't. I don't remember.
I just prefer the caning, and I went up there and I got the.
I didn't get no
think it
try.
was
I didn't get no try, Steadman. I don't try.
Yeah, I don't know if they still do caning. I don't know if they still have caning at Meadowbrook. I don't know if they still do.
I don't know. I can't speak for that. I don't know. But I know I had caning when I was there. Let me ask you another question, Steadman. What the most embarrassing moment you remember at Meadowbrook that you can look back on with a smile?
Well, embarrassing. I remember. Let's see. I can remember. What embarrassing? I remember I got in a fight with this guy one time.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the details of the fight, but I remember a girl said once after the fight, she said, "Oh, you can fight as well." But that really wasn't embarrassing. But it was like a scuffle I had with this guy. But I don't remember too much. I remember I had a dog used to follow me to school.
What do you mean? So you lived in Meadowbrook, the dog walk when you go to school?
Dog, I used to live on I forget. I don't. Was it not Lawn Avenue? What was that? There was. I used to Flemington Avenue. You know Flemington Avenue.
Yeah, that's right by the school. Yeah.
I used to live a few houses down, probably halfway down Flemington Avenue. And I used to walk to school every morning. And the dog used to. It wasn't really my dog, and the dog would constantly follow me into the school. And the dog had a big old sore on his back too. And he used to have flies on his, he was attracting flies, and the dog would come in the classroom and this and that. And that was kind of embarrassing because the dog really wasn't, really wasn't my personal dog. The dog used to he just attached himself to my house. And,
the dog adopted you.
Several times he was following me and the guy, I remember the dog had a big sore on his back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That was, if you want to say embarrassing, that was probably.
I hear you.
Send him back home.
Mm-hmm.
And the home really wasn't even my house because the dog just pretty much attached himself.
Yeah.
I don't know even where the dog came from.
Yeah. All right, let me ask you a couple more questions. What the best learning experience you got from going to Meadowbrook, the 7 years? The best learning experience?
Oh, the best learning experience. I remember we had a lot of competition. Right? I mean, me and Robert Bamberry, we used to. When they were teaching literature, we would be in the back working on physics problems. So we were like in competition with each other. We were really and that was in fifth form. We would work all the physics problems in the past papers books.
Mm-hmm.
The teacher would assign probably maybe 3 or 4, 5 problems. We would do all the problems in the whole book. So we would doing literature class. We would be in the back doing physics problems and math problems. It was really. And it's like self motivation. It's not really teaching. The teacher can only teach you so much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You have to kind of go to the second mile. You have to go and even when I was working with Mayor, I had to tell Mayor, look, you have to forget about these other students. You can't really, because he would be trying to tell me about some guys who come into practice and they don't show up. And I said, look, man, you don't have to. You don't worry about them. You can't really worry about them. I don't remember Mayor ever missing any type of train. Like I said before, you have to be very careful with Mayor. Guy, and it's not something that the mentality Mayor had. I don't know how he got it. I don't know where. I don't know. It was just something that I think it was a part of Mayor. He would contact me every week to update the plan for the week and the schedule for the week, and he was very conscientious, man. I don't know if he was like that as far as academics, but as far as track and field, he was very, very.
No, man, he was a dedicated athlete, Steadman. Mayor Stally, as we call him affectionately, was a motivation to us. It was a motivation to me and a lot of people who played. He was, as I say, he was part of the cricket team. He came back And him
So
don't
he came back after his athletic time. He came back and helped out at his school.
all the time, man. All the time. He'll be there with a play. He and I played cricket together after school. After I left school, we played on a Evelyn Cup team and a minor cup team. And he was always there helping out at the school, man. He was his dedication to Meadowbrook was bar second to none, man. And I just say he was a big time athlete because he went to Carifta games and won the gold medal. I think the only Meadowbrook person who ever win a medal for Jamaica from Meadowbrook at the Carifta game. I don't think nobody from Meadowbrook has ever won a championship medal.
Not to my knowledge, but I don't know what Mayor was like in like third form, fourth form, fifth form, because I only met Mayor. I only really had a connection with Mayor for 1 year.
No, man.
So
Mayor was.
I don't know what he was like in third form coming up.
Yeah,
I don't know how he got that type of dedication where it actually came from, because it's certainly from me.
So Jerry, you know Stally while you were at Meadowbrook?
Oh yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think Stally got his dedication from and his?
I don't know. I think he was just that kind of person. Was very, like giving 100% in whatever he was doing.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
His personality, he was like, give it everything.
Yeah, man. I'm
very,
good.
Kind of guy in control of himself and very.
Yeah, because Mayor lived in a very bad neighborhood. I remember I dropped Mayor at his house one time. He wasn't in any type of upscale neighborhood. He was
we live a Whitehall.
Bad run.
Yeah, we live a Whitehall Avenue. Yes, a tough neighborhood he came from, but he was good natured, and he was. His attitude was good. I mean, I never really had any question about him. He just wanted to do well for whatever reason. He just wanted to do good. He was, as you say, he would have been somebody easy to coach. Said man, he had no problem.
He was a pleasure to coach. I had to be very careful what I said to him because because he was anything with that. But I don't know. I don't know if he played on the Manning Cup team or he played soccer. Maybe
he played a little bit of soccer. I think I don't know if he made the Manning Cup team. I know he played Sunlight because Ratigan was soccer. Irby, who captained the Sunlight team, Sally used to play Sunlight. Because I know him play cricket with us. And he was an inspiration to me and a lot of cricketers because he was always giving 110%. Always.
Right.
Always. If you ask him for this, just like I say, if you ask Sally for this something, he's going to do it. Without question. That's the dedication that he has.
I'll meet him at the bottom field on Saturday, 10 o'clock. Mayor was there, always there. Man. I don't remember ever showing up down there.
And I'm not there. Right? That's him.
Yeah, I mean, the other students who claim that they want to be in a track team and want to practice, they don't show up. They show up maybe.
No, that's not it. That's not
it. One quarter at a time, and I mean, and I don't know if I told Mayor that. I tell him I don't really have time to worry about them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't worry about them either. Just
keep doing what you have to do. Yeah.
And that's how he was.
Let me ask you a couple more questions, Steadman, because believe it or not, we have been here for almost 90 minutes. Although you say you couldn't talk more than half hour, so don't worry. Yeah, you're doing good. Because when I first talked, you said, boy, you can't talk for more than 10 minutes, but we're almost here for 90 minutes.
No, I didn't know I said that. I apologize.
But anyway, all right, the next question I want to ask you, what life lesson you learned at Meadowbrook that you have passed on to your friends and family?
Life lessons. When I at Meadowbrook, my in terms of my dedication to life and that sort of thing. I mean, I don't know if I got it in Meadowbrook because by the time when I left Meadowbrook, like I said, my focus was not really on academics. My focus was on athletics.
Yeah.
And I remember when I went to Nebraska, I got this summer job. Well, I got a summer job. I met some people in Nebraska, and I got a summer job there, which I did every summer for 5 years. After that, I did this. I was selling books door to door as a summer job. I used to leave school, even I used to leave, and even at U when I was at U, I used to leave at the end of the summer. I had a job available. They used to send us to different parts of the United States to work.
Yeah.
And used to go door to door selling these Black history. But that's really where I think my strong motivation, self motivation and I did that right up until the time I came, right up into the time where I did that right up until I spent 4 years at UWI, and then I got into Meadowbrook. I got into medical faculty.
Medical school, yeah.
In fact, I remember when I had got some good grades, and I had applied to the medical school, and they had turned me down. I called up Mr. Thorpe and said, "Look, man, I think there's some funny business going on here." I wasn't accepted to the medical school. And he said, "Well, you need to get the right grades." I said, "Look, I think I have the grades. I have the grades." And he must have made some phone calls. I don't know who he called, but the next day they told me to come to the where's that area there, that the administration area.
The admissions office at UWI, yeah.
They told me to go to the admissions office and talk to a lady by the name of her name is Miss Scoffrey, I think.
Miss Scoffrey, I remember that name. So yes.
He called me into her office, and she called this lady in, who was the one who was, I guess, admitting students to the medical faculty. And because back then they used to work off of a point scale. If you have X amount of points, if you have 7 points and below, you automatically be admitted to the medical faculty.
Yeah.
If you have an A, you get a 1 point, and you have to have 3 subjects to get in, and you have to have So I had 7 points. So 7 points was automatic admission, but I didn't get admitted. And then the lady, so she called the lady and asked her what was the problem. And the lady said I had done the wrong math course. Instead of doing applied maths, instead of doing pure maths, I'd taken applied maths, and I got a B minus. And she said, and I told Ms. Scoffrey, I was trying to tell her, look, I asked about that before I took the course, and they told me it didn't make any difference which math course you signed up for. Any math course.
Yeah.
So she made the lady give me the acceptance paper right there in the office there while I was sitting down.
Yeah.
She had to type it out right there while I was there.
Yeah, I didn't know.
So, but in terms of, get back to I got most of my life lessons on selling books, door to door.
Yeah.
That was after Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
So that was after I left Meadowbrook.
I hear you said, man. I didn't know that was the issue in terms that they tried to deny admission to the medical school because a dear mix-up. In terms
I don't know the detail, but Mr. Thorpe was instrumental in that. Mr. Thorpe was a very special type of headmaster. I don't know how long he was a headmaster at Meadowbrook, but he was there.
He was there until 1979.
89.
So he was there for maybe
1989.
No, 79 he left. 79.
So he must have come in 66. He was there for just 13 years.
13 years, yes. He left.
Yes, my bad.
79, Jerry, because remember
Yeah,
when I repeated fifth form, Mr. Top had left.
Okay.
When I repeated fifth form, I took command. I took O levels in 79, and Mr. Top never returned. When I repeated fifth form, Mr. Top wasn't there. So it was 13 years Steadman. But he was a special type of headmaster. He was there for the first 5 years I was at Meadowbrook. I spent 8 years at Meadowbrook, 74 to 82, because I repeated fifth form. So, because I was not bright as you, forget 8 subjects in a one go. So.
Right. I think I got six or something. I didn't pass English.
Neither did I the first time. I like you was focusing on sports.
Right. Yeah. I was. But with O level, you can get away with that. You can get away with that with O level, but you can't get away with.
It's afterwards I learned the trick with passing O levels that you just have to study the pass paper. Them. I know the question.
Yeah, focusing on the pass paper.
That's a strategy with O levels. With most exams, that's a strategy. You just have to know the questions them will come. Study for the questions them, and there's a certain amount of questions will come every time. So I didn't know that strategy till after I failed the first time, afterwards I never made that mistake again. I know the questions them will come, so I will study for those.
You probably try to study everything, but you can.
No, you don't have to study everything. No, you focus on getting the 5 or 6 questions you are going to answer. You just say, okay, that's
even at UWI, you focus on the you decide which questions you're going to answer before you go in the exam.
Exactly. Guys, only a certain cross-section of question can come. Exactly. Passing exam, Steadman, is a strategy. It's not about swatting. It's just knowing
Yeah, you have to have a strategy.
You have to have a strategy in terms of say, yeah.
In the medical, it's hard to get away with that because they give you 5 questions to the 4. So it's not like you don't get you can't do you have to really almost study everything because you don't know.
You don't know what's coming at all. Yeah.
They give you oral exams as well. They go inside and meet the professor face to face.
Yeah. Let me ask you another couple of questions. What message would I give to the existing students, our future students, our staff member at Meadowbrook who go and hear this podcast when it goes out, whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years time? What message are you giving to current Meadowbrook students, our future Meadowbrook students?
Enjoy your school life, enjoy the time you have at high school, and involve yourself in most of the sports. But you have to. The earlier you find out where your best talents lie, the better off you are. The earlier you can find out, because everybody has some unique type of talent. But you have to be able to. The earlier you can find out what that talent is, the better you are, and you can focus on doing that.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good message. That's a good message to them. Well,
that's what I can think of off the bat.
Yeah, no, I have a couple more. Just 2 more questions before I ask you the last question. And this question goes to you, to Jerry. And I'm going to ask you first, Steadman. How it make you feel bringing up all these Meadowbrook memories after all these years? 50, 60 years. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it's a special part of your life. You only get to do that one time. So Meadowbrook has a special part of my It's a special part in my life as far as going to high school, because I say you only do that one time. You only go to one high school, so that's and I said I recommended my daughter could leave the States and come back to Jamaica to go to school, because I know that the type of education you get there, not just Meadowbrook, but in general in terms of education is much better than the average school in the States, and you need a good foundation.
That is without doubt. What I said, man. Yes.
You don't hear them things about people carrying guns into classrooms, and I don't think that's ever happened in Jamaica yet. I don't know if it's going to happen. I don't know if it's people firing. They may have carried guns to school, but I don't know if you ever hear people carrying a gun into a class and shooting up the students.
No, we yet in Jamaica that kind of masculine and yeah.
But it must be a reason why them things don't happen.
I think so.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That is true. That I never have the point that way that's all yet.
So there must so my time in Meadowbrook is very special to me.
Yeah. Good to hear that. So Jerry, the same question applied to you now, because I never get to ask you this the last couple of times. It's Ian Chung give me this question to ask. And how it make you feel I talk and I bring up these Meadowbrook memories after all these years?
Yeah, it's a good feeling. As Steadman said, you only get, your high school years are some really important years in your life, developmental wise, and we all had good experiences. From what I've heard people say on this podcast, various people, we all enjoyed Meadowbrook and felt it was a very special place. And talking about it brings back, for the most part, really, really, really good memories. And, I think that it's something that is embedded in us. We're like, the products of Meadowbrook, and certain things that are typical of Meadowbrook. As they say in some places, only an Italian will understand things that happen in certain things that happen in Italy. But only a Meadowbrook past will not really understand, the Meadowbrook experience, which is, what we all went through, and we all understand what that is.
That's right.
You're right about that, man. Because Steadman told me said I make sure there's something in one day.
That was their goal when they see they reach. They didn't go into the match thinking like that, but when they reached 250, I heard that they were going after the. I didn't even know there was a record. I didn't know they had a record.
But guess what? In the same breath, in that era, Meadowbrook created maybe the biggest upset in our sports history up until this day still would be Trenchtown with the great Herbert Diego Garden.
Oh, so you know, you hear about Diego?
Yes, I mean, yes.
Yeah, I was playing defense against Diego. You know, I mean, I know about him. He was a big time star.
Yeah, man, Diego was big time star, man. Diego went on to play for Jamaica and Boys Town, and Diego was an excellent athlete, played both football and cricket. So, for Meadowbrook beat up Diego Garden.
I didn't know you would have heard about Diego because he was. So I mean, so he played for Jamaica as well.
Yeah, man. Diego went on. Yeah, man. Big time player for Jamaica, man. Diego played for Boys Town and Jamaica up into the late 70s and 1980s.
I didn't know that.
I think he died recently. But even Diego was overweight and playing. Diego was a potent force on the football field, man. Even.
Yeah, because I was right back, and I remember I was dealing with Diego, and I didn't know. I know he was a big good star for Trenchtown, but I didn't know how good of a player. I didn't know. So I don't really think I was right back, but I know I was faced off with Diego a few times. But I know he was very popular with the crowd, you know, because he could move with ball pretty good.
No, man. Diego was a special talent, man. Apart from Skill Cole, Alan Cole, Diego was probably the most talented footballer ever come out of Jamaica. Apart from Alan Cole.
He was that good.
Eh?
He was that well known, Diego.
Yeah, man. Yes. Yeah, man. Anybody who grew up in our time, I don't know if even younger people like know probably know about Diego Garden. But Diego, and as I said, Diego was an excellent wicket keeper too. I don't know if he ever played for Jamaica. I don't remember if he ever played for Jamaica, but Diego was an excellent he was better at football more than cricket. But he was a top class footballer, man. If Diego had grown up in another country, Diego would have been well known and very rich, man. Herbert Diego.
But I know when you beat Trenchtown, they almost gave Meadowbrook the week off.
They should have.
They made a cake. Next day we got a big cake.
No, that was the beginning, Steadman, and the turnaround in terms of Meadowbrook mentality. Because trust me, that victory, I think, denied Trenchtown from reaching the Manning Cup final. And I think Trenchtown would have won the Manning Cup the year. But the kid,
I don't know. I don't remember the details of that. But we didn't go on to repeat that with too many other schools. I mean, this was like a fluke.
No, it was.
I don't know.
Yeah, it was. It was. I agree with you. It was. I was saying, and you were playing, and you say you scored a goal. I'm not sure. That was something else.
I called to defend a goal, but we didn't go on to the rest of the season to do like. Mm-hmm. I don't remember beating too many other teams, but that particular day, so happened that Meadowbrook had them down 3-0, and they couldn't. They were trying their. They were coming back though. They were really coming back, but they just time ran out.
And Mikey Ballin was in the goal.
I think Mikey Ballin was a backup goalkeeper.
Or the reserve goal guy. He was younger than you. Yes, that's right. Not Mikey Ballin, Ricky Ballin. Sorry, Ricky Ballin. Not Mikey Ballin, Ricky Ballin. Mikey and brother. Right.
And Baldwin was a goalkeeper.
Yeah. No, that was a few.
Mikey was younger than me, I think.
That was a famous victory, Steadman. Very famous victory. Ricky Ballin, I think Mike Steadman, not Mikey. Mikey had a younger brother, what I know. Who went to Calabar.
Yeah, I know. Ricky Ballin was the guy who was backup.
But Ricky Ballin, yeah, I just want to get the name right. And Jerry know Ricky Ballin good too. All right, so last question before I ask you the last one, Steadman. And same thing for you, Jerry. Any question or topic you'd like bring up or comment on? And you answer this first, Jerry. Any question or topic you'd like bring up on? I didn't ask.
No, I think this podcast is quite good. I have to applaud you for doing this because this is it's good for posterity. Because I guess I don't know how many. Because
you were decided to schedule this thing. I didn't know it was as organized as it was. I was thinking that I was saying, look, just set me up for next Wednesday. Remember when we were talking? I didn't think this was something well organized. I said, yeah, we were talking maybe on a Monday or a Sunday. I said, well, you were telling me that the schedule is not very good for today. I said, yeah, just call me Wednesday and we can probably do it. That was probably back in August.
Yeah.
Remember you say, oh well, really, this is really only to do this on Sunday, and the next opening is going to be in October. This was
Wait a minute, this thing is a well organized. I didn't know it was something like that, you know. So I'm here. Wait a minute, August, and he said, well, the next opening is October. So wait a minute, this thing must be serious. October. You have to show you for being persistent and setting this up. I mean, where did you get the idea to do this type of thing? I mean, well, this is quite good.
Good question, sir, man. Let me answer. I've been asked it a couple of times. It's a good question. When I went back to Jamaica in 2016, when my mom died, and I went down to bury her, friend, one of the guys who played cricket with us, a younger guys, Carlton Facey, and I just have to call him name. I go and call him name because I have to big them up. He called me and said, Jelly, we have a thing for you. We have a little trophy for you. I said, I mean, trophy for what? And I said, we have a trophy for me because he might try to honor the people who put Meadowbrook on the map in the 1980s. And because we had the sunlight, I said, I never know anybody remember that. Right? So him and another student organized to give me a little trophy. Donovan Thomas, Ted Gregg, my nickname, and give me the presentation at Melbourne. And I felt good about that. Because I was thinking about it too. My mom had just passed. I say, Meadowbrook history going in a black hole for me. And I know I know our teams did well for Meadowbrook. As I said, 7 trophies in 4 years. So it's not me alone. It's not about me. I'm saying a whole lot of people must want to come tell them story. So first of all, I wrote a book about the time. I wrote a little book. It don't publish it. It finished writing. And then I just decided to say, let me invite the cricketers that we know first and the footballers that we know. And just start talk about what had happened in the 80s when we won a whole trophy. And then so on the whole now, other people, girls started reach out to me and say, but Jelly, we have our story too. And not about us cricket alone. And that was it. So that my point was, I didn't want what I did or what our teams did. So it's not about me going to a black hole, Steadman. I said, no. I said, you come forward now, you tell your story now. And the people are going to know about you and Stally. I said, no. And people have to remember, say, Stally are the first man and the only man so far ever win Carifta game gold medal for Jamaica from Meadowbrook. You are the first track star, as Mr. from Meadowbrook. So I just say, it is there now for everybody can listen. The student in Meadowbrook can listen today or tomorrow. It was just to make sure that each don't go into the black hole, said man. That's why I look on it.
So it's really be there for anybody to listen to it.
Exactly. Anybody who want to listen can go listen, man. So I'm glad you asked for that question that I can clarify it. And people, the interest has been good because people reaching out to me. I reach out to a couple of people where I know and say, all right, come. And I must say, yeah, there's very few people that call and them say them don't want to come on. Some people kind of shy because them think say me go ask them question or them think say a camera. But no, as you say, it's just a conversation said, man. So when it's go out, other people hear and say.
That's a very good idea. It's well worth it.
Yeah, man. Thank you. Thank you very much. So let me ask you, Jerry, you answered that already, Jerry. I don't think there's anything. You just say we don't have nothing else to ask, any questions or anything.
The only thing I would ask, Steadman, one quick question, Steady. Is there any, when we go through high school, we make bonds with, friendships that last a long time. Is there anyone or any number of people that you went through Meadowbrook with that you are still in contact with at some level?
Oh, that's a good. The only person Michael Banbury. I mean, because I came in contact with him at UWI. Every now and again, we might text each other. Mm-hmm. But other than that, those people there, there's not too many other people from the high school days.
Yes.
That are really Michael Banbury is probably the.
Okay, you both are.
He's the only one, and he was. He was 2 years. He was 2 years before me. But as far as Meadowbrook old students, because we talk about I left Meadowbrook in 72 now. So we know what year are we in now?
22, 50 years ago. 50 years.
We're talking about half a century now. We're talking about.
Yeah.
So, but I think Michael Banbury would be a good guy to get on this thing because I'm pretty sure he's still in Jamaica. He's living in Jamaica now. He'd be a good person as well. You probably could look him up.
But yeah, somebody has passed on a person by the name of Sam Walker. I don't know if you remember that name, but yeah.
He was on that team. I don't know if he said he passed on.
No, I invited him to come on the podcast, so I will wait an answer from him.
Good guy. He's a judge right now.
Yeah, that's what I heard. That's what I heard. Sam Walker. Yes, I heard that. Ratigan gave me the number for him, so I've invited him.
Yeah, he was one of the guys who scored one of those goals in that match
against Trenchtown.
Trenchtown.
Oh no, definitely. So I've got definitely follow him up. Now, what I went tell him now, say, I spoke to Steadman Mason, and him tell me, say, I must get you on the podcast. Just another second nudge. So, guy, you scored the goal.
He scored one goals. I don't know who scored the second. I know the goal I think I scored. They gave it to the defender. Defender goal.
Oh, defender's goal. Okay, I got you. I deflection half a defender. Okay.
Yeah, but Walker did one, and I don't know who scored the third goal, but it was a
yeah. So, but the thing with these podcasts, said man, when I go out and people hear you and hear your voice, people might reach out and I say, I think I've never said man in 50 years. Let me reach out to him. So.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they might do that.
Because a lot of people want to get in touch with other people. They don't hear them until they hear the podcast. And I said, wait, I didn't know you were still around. And memories come back, said man. Memories come back.
That's right. All right. I'm gonna have to listen to some of these podcasts, man. Most of the guys, I don't think I know most of these guys. I mean, that makes you realize you've been out of high school a long time. 50 years, man. That's a long time.
Well, as I tell you, actually, I did interview a lady last night. She was she went to Meadowbrook before you from the second year 59. The Reverend Mad Saunders' niece. So
Saunders.
The founder of the school.
Oh, okay, our niece, right? Okay.
Yeah, our niece, and I did an interview with her last night, and that will come out. I will try to put out that one next Saturday because I think it's important. But you're one. This podcast here I'm doing, this conversation, not a podcast as I call it, is the first student I get in that is, I said, older than, well, Mr. Ben, Jerry is older than me, I'm much older, but your generation is the first time I get in somebody from that generation who started school 65. 65. Yeah. And ultimately, I want to get a lot of those students because I just think the memories from them would be important. So I'm glad you came on and decided, and we'll get through despite all the technical difficulties we had. You and I know it.
I didn't think it was going to work. I was thinking there was something wrong with my phone.
No. It's and I'm no tech savvy person. Just take. You see what it is? Not said, man. Just take like what you take with the track and field, Perseverance.
Persistence.
Exactly. And most problems can be solved with persistence, said man. So I know that. So I said, yeah. So I'm glad both of us persisted and just get over the technical issues we had to make sure you can and come on the program today. And I'm glad to say Jerry was able to join us on this conversation. But may I ask you the last question, said man. Last question just to you.
Right.
What made Meadowbrook magical?
Like I say, it's your formative years, man, and I'm just you start Meadowbrook at what 12?
10, 11, 12 depends on the age, yeah.
Those years, you form, it's just a formative time, and I just so happened that I didn't focus on academics after fifth form. But I had a good time. I had a good time at Meadowbrook and the activities there. And like I said, going to school in Jamaica was well worth it. That's why I sent my daughter there.
Yeah.
It made a big difference in her. And it was just that when she went to Holy Childhood, I think they're a bit too strict at that Catholic school. The first thing they said when I went there, but she went to the boarding school. The first day they told her they hadn't even met her for more than 1 minute. They say you need to take off your fingernail polish. That's what they told me. It's true enough. Discipline is good, but I think it was a bit of a reach. Sometimes it's too much.
Yeah, your daughter must have been shocked and said, what have she gotten into? Yeah.
I think she was. She couldn't believe it.
Culture shock. Anyway, Steadman and Jerry, unless Jerry have any closing remarks?
No, just it was a pleasure to be here, Steadman. Good to talk to you again. It's been a while. And thanks again, Jelly, for inviting me. Had a good time as usual.
Thank you.
All right. You know that this first time hearing this name, Jelly. So you told me you got the name Jelly because every time you used to run 100 meters, they say your belly move like a jellyfish.
Yeah.
Is that what
well, listen, 100 meters, I don't think so. I don't think I could have finished 100 meters, but If I run 100 meters the slowest, I hear that I ran a race at Meadowbrook, and I think we're still trying to decide who won because the race had not been finished yet. But, but yeah, you got that right. When I used to run, over 22 yards I used to run when I play cricket. My belly used to gel, jump up and down like it's a jelly. So yeah, that's how I got the name, yes. He was asking me that, G, how I get the name. Same man, I say him never hear jelly yet. Him know me as Lance.
Right.
Yeah.
I know it's but not jelly. I know jelly.
Yeah, so we get this name for. But I use all four names because most people in Meadowbrook know me as Jelly. And I'm comfortable with it. It don't matter to me. Our Glacier, our Lance, our Prince. So it don't matter to me at all. So.
Right.
But anyway, gentlemen, this has been great, I thank you. And Gerald Belnavis, thank you for coming and joining us this evening. Steadman Mason, Meadowbrook's first track star. I can't say that. I don't think nobody else wants it. That's my opinion.
That's true or not? You understand?
Right there. That's a reasonable thing to say.
Yeah, man. Who coach Meadowbrook's only track star will win Carifta gold medal for Meadowbrook in 1978, I think. Donat Stallion Mir. I'm going to big him up too because I want him to come up on the program too. So
I'd like to hear Amir's voice.
Yeah, man. I love to talk to him too. When I hear this, I would try to send it to him or make one of the guys them carry go give him. So I thank both of you for coming in and spending almost 2 hours. I talked to me this evening, and God bless you, no? God bless you, Jerry. God bless you, Steadman. And God bless Meadowbrook. Because Meadowbrook bring us together, and I love that. God bless us all. So I'm God bless Meadowbrook. Yeah, man. And thank you, Steadman. I appreciate this. Thank you, Jerry.
You're welcome.
Yeah, man. All right, cool. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Meadowbrook Memories. And remember to give us all the support and encouragement you can on whatever social media platform you are listening. And special thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince, who takes care of everything involved in getting the podcast out every week. And without him, this podcast would not be possible. It is his expertise that allows me to do what I love doing every week, having great conversations about Meadowbrook Memories, and he's responsible for everything else. So again, thanks to my production manager, Kyle Prince.